Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us today as we work to shed more light on the service provision aspect of Baltimore's group violence reduction strategy. Today, I am joined by representatives from our GVRS service provision partners, Assistant Program Director for Youth Advocate Programs, or YAP, Irene Conway, and ROCA Executive Vice President for Maryland, Curtis Palermo. I'm also joined by Tom Donnelly from the State's Attorney's Office. I'm joined by a member of our Group Violence Reduction Unit Outreach Team, Sergeant Keisha Feaster. I'm joined by a Community Moral Voice partner, Dr. Laverne Murray. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. I am joined by Kiko Thompson, who's been engaged by this strategy and who's going to talk to us about his experience and about how GVRS personally affected his life. And last but certainly not least, I am joined by Reginald Williams, who serves as our Community Service Partnership Manager. So we've heard news of takedowns happening as a result of the GVRS strategy, and you've heard us reiterate over and over again that the law enforcement actions are an absolute last resort of the strategy, that service provision is the main mechanism used to encourage folks to make changes that result in a healthier and safer life for them and for their communities. Baltimore's group violence reduction strategy relies on a balance of positive and punitive consequences to ensure individuals who are at most risk of being involved in gun violence, either as a perpetrator or a victim, are able to step away from the life or face certain swift and legitimate accountability. Put simply, we're talking about three things: choice, decision, consequence. Ultimately, we want those who are engaged by the group violence reduction strategy to hear and understand the choice that they're presented with, make the decision to accept the services offered through our partners YAP and ROCA, who stand here today, and benefit from the positive consequences that translate into real opportunities for their lives, for the lives of the people they love and who love them back, and for the greater community. We're here today to not only talk about what those options look like, but to actually hear from Kiko, who took full advantage of the choice he was given by making a decision to honor his second chance. It's also important that we're strategic about how we present the choice. Along with our service provision partners, this work wouldn't be possible because they are respected folks, trusted folks by the participants that we engage. This is where our community moral voice partners come in, folks like Pastor Mary, like Ray Kelly, like Marvin McKinstry, like Derwin Hanna, like Crystal Parker, and so many others who are voices of influence within their communities because they share lived experiences with those who we identify through the strategy, and they're able to bring these folks to the table so that we can offer them the opportunity to make that choice. GVRS has more than demonstrated its impact on public safety outcomes during the pilot in the Western and now in the Southwestern districts, with a 45.2% and a 15.8% drop in aggregate homicides and non-fatal shootings, respectively, across those two districts. These reductions in violent crime would not be possible if we just relied on takedowns and law enforcement action only. In fact, during the pilot in the Western, 71 individuals accepted services out of the 81 individuals that we identified to be at the most risk for being involved in gun violence. And so far this year, 11 individuals have been offered and accepted services across the Western and the Southwestern. Life coaching also accounts for almost 86% of the services requested by participants of the strategy, while other services include housing assistance, employment, emergency relocation, and cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. This means making sure that folks understand how to reconcile what they feel with what they're thinking and ultimately how they will behave. This is what emotional regulation and effective conflict management is all about. These numbers stand as proof that service provision is the backbone of this strategy. and that Baltimoreans are willing to step away from the life when given the opportunity. And we will continue to offer the opportunity. I'm going to turn it over to our partners now to tell you some stories and impact of this work in real time. We'll start with Dr. Mary to talk more about the community moral voice element of the strategy. Dr. Mary?
Thank you. Good morning. Oh, okay. She's very tall. I'm going to stand on my tippy toes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Laverne W. Murray. I am the Associate Pastor of Doxa Ministries Church Without Walls. We are a community church here in the Penn North area. I am also the Executive Director for Women at the Well Foundation, and I am a proud Baltimore City Police chaplain. And I just wanted to share that the moral voice, that piece that comes in and that component that's hooking up with the municipals is doing an excellent job. It's a voice that's crying out in the wilderness. You know, when crime and crises are out here in our city, there must be a voice to cry out in the wilderness. People are what they experience. Experiences are the things that folks go through, and it is only through this entity that we're able to target that. The objective for GVRS, which I have experienced personally, is that we are going as a team. Together, everybody achieves more. But as we go together, this platform is out there making an impact. And I believe that I am a driven person and that folks out there need to be driven. Some folks are lost, and it is our responsibility to touch lives. And this is why this is successful. It's successful because we're able to touch people's lives personally. We're able to go out. We're putting feet to our words. And we're going out and we're touching folks so that they can see that this is not your destiny. Destruction leads to a path of death and destruction. So we are out there changing that perspective by letting them know that this is an opportunity for you to change, that you don't have to lead a life of destruction. You don't have to understand, you don't have to feel that this is your only recourse, but there are avenues that are servicing folks that if they only see, if you can touch a man's heart, you can change them. And that's the purpose of this organization. I call it an organism because organism says it's alive. Come on, somebody speak to me. Come on, let's talk back. Organism says it's alive. This is a great organism. We have all these divisions up here trying to make an impact, to impact and change people's lives so that they can see that the hand that they find themselves in, crime and destruction, is not the best route. It's not the way to go. It is the wrong thing to do. And it is time for the city of Baltimore to rise up as a community and get together and pull us each other up out of the muck and the mire. And the only way that we can do that is if we talk to people. People aren't going to change because we have a bunch of resources. Okay? Resources are needed, but they're not going to change because you say you can give them a job. What they will change is because you're touching their heart. And when people feel like that you care, they are willing to come out and make a change. We have a lot of folks that want change but unwilling to change. And that process is not going to work. But I thank God that we have an administration now that is willing to go and touch the lives of people individually. You can't touch them from behind a desk. You got to get out there and touch them personally. And then when that effect takes place, change will happen. People are what they experience. So GVRS and my part in it is to make an attempt to change that experience. So we can do this thing. I'm optimistic. I'm very, very hopeful, and I believe that we can change this city, and this city will be in peace. We can have a city for peace, but we have to be the instruments of peace in order to release peace. So I just thank the opportunity to be a part of this team, and I will continue to strive with this team. It takes all of us to make change. And if the citizens can see that we're willing to change, then they should be willing to change and come on board and help us make this a city that's on a hill and not a city under a bushel, or not a city that other cities say that this is the worst city in the United States. I declare them wrong. I declare them wrong because we have a team that's willing and that's able, that wants to go out and wants to change. And I'm telling you, I have had the personal experience to visit some of the folks that we're going for. And I say we're coming for because we want you to change. We want you to be successful in a city that is successful. And that experience not only changed the parent, I spoke to parents, and they were changed because they are tired too. So I just congratulate this team, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Good morning. First, I want to thank Mayor Scott and Director Jackson for the opportunity to be a part of the group violence reduction strategy, and everyone who's made it possible for not only ROCA but YAP to serve the young men in Baltimore who so desperately need some opportunity to change their lives. We're excited to continue this partnership to serve the young people most at risk of being the victims or perpetrators of gun violence. And we know that behavior change takes time. We continue to work to improve our CBT and deliver the best possible services to address and identify the trauma that these young people are both going through now and have experienced in the past. We're seeing remarkable changes, big and small, for the young people we serve. And in 4 years in Baltimore, we've served 445 of the city's highest risk young men. Of the 84 men enrolled for 2 years or more, just 21% were rearrested and only 2% were incarcerated for a new charge. And we're also encouraged by the impact of our after-shooting protocol, an intervention which has already reached hundreds of young men, most at risk of being re-victimized, some of which were referred by the group violence reduction strategy. We're grateful to have the opportunity to work alongside community and criminal justice partners, those engaged in GVRS, and the Scott administration to reduce the violence in Baltimore City. I want to thank my ROCA team, but more importantly, I want to thank the young people who trust us to be a part of their lives and show them that there is a different way and that they matter. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Irene Conway. I am the Assistant Program Director at YAP GVRS. I have an amazing platform, having the continuous pleasure of saving lives since about August 2022. My team and I provide an array of services to a caseload of participants, which we love because this work takes time and they're sticking to it and progressing in one way or another. One of them is here. His name is Kiko Thompson, and he'll get the opportunity to share his story in just a few moments. So let's talk about what this work looks like. First of all, YAP, Youth Advocate Programs. YAP is in our 48th year partnering with youth justice, child welfare, behavioral health, education, public safety, and other systems to provide community-based services as a safe, effective, and equitable alternative to incarceration, residential care, and with work like GVRS, I'm proud to say YAP is also an alternative to neighborhood violence. So at YAP, GVRS, we do what YAP has always done. We hire people from the neighborhoods we serve with our violence interruption work. We also hire staff with similar experiences as the individuals and families we serve. I am grateful to have a dedicated and talented team of outreach and life coaches who approach the work from an authentic outlook, building a solid rapport and being a model for what can be. Mr. Mark Ross is one of our life coaches who himself has a story, and so he is able to relate, understand, and take a journey with participants such as Kiko Thompson. Meeting our participants where they are is key. Providing a safe space to be vulnerable, to be heard, to fail, to laugh, to think, to succeed, while helping participants see their strengths and put them to use in positive ways. We do whatever it takes. Connecting them to schooling, job readiness, family and individual therapy, our YAP clothing closet for interviewing, meeting those basic needs we sometimes take for granted. Again, whatever it takes. We meet them where they are. Changing the narrative of their everyday norm, understanding that that may look different for each and every participant, showing them that small goals, such as obtaining a Social Security card or opening a bank account, is obtainable, which in turn allows our participants to see that short-term goals are within their grasp and long-term goals are reachable. This work means something. It means something to the city and residents of Baltimore, for the family YAPS wraps around, and equally important for future generations to come. My team and I appreciate the partnership with Muncie, giving us the opportunity to save and transform lives daily. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Pastor Mary. Thank you, Irene. YAP, ROCA, and our community moral voices have been immense partners in our work to deliver Baltimoreans most at risk of being either the perpetrators or the victims of gun violence, and the opportunities that they need to make the decision to step away from the life and to remain safe, alive, and free. Because ultimately, isn't that what we all want? For Baltimoreans to stay safe, alive, and free. But what does that mean to our residents? What does it mean to a participant? We have Kiko, a program participant here, to talk to you all about what this looks like in real life when someone is engaged by the GVRS strategy and how the strategy helps folks turn a new leaf and to make the choice to step away from violence. Kiko, when you're ready.
Good morning. My name is Kiko Thompson. I'm at the age of 36. And I just want to, first and foremost, thank God for giving me the strength to come here to share my story with y'all. Back in September last year, 22, a family member of mine was murdered in the city of Baltimore. It was a hard pill for me to swallow, and till this day, it's still hard for me to swallow. They said God will take something from you and give you something in replacement. And I guess I know that yet was the second thing that he gave me, a second chance. Since I've been in the YAT program, I had accomplished a lot. What I done was I allowed what happened in my life change what happens in my life. And I took advantage of the opportunity that they gave me. You know, I've been working ever since, and it's the longest I ever had a job my whole life. I'm 36 years old, and I've been working for 6 months now at this warehouse that the YAT program, you know, connected me with. And I got my certification for forklift since I've been there, and I just want to thank YAP for placing a good life coach, you know, Mark Ross, you know, into my life, you know, to show me, to teach me, to tell me the things, you know, and every day we have a conversation, stay strong, stay positive, and that's what I drill in my head. I keep it in my head like a melody. And I just want to thank God, man, for just giving me a chance, this second chance right here, to get myself together, to get back on the right track, where I'm supposed to be at. Like, like I said, as far as my cousin's situation, that situation helped me open my eyes and realize that I can do better things in my life than standing outside on the corners, dedicating myself to the wrong things instead of my family and the things that I'm supposed to stand on and stand with. And since I had this job, like, it really changed me. It really changed me. Like, I really want to be there more than I stand outside, than I used to be. You know, and this program really, anything that they said they had to offer you, they stood on it. So I made sure I stood on mines, like doing everything I said I was going to do as far as the program. And I took advantage of it, like I said, and applied it to my life. And ever since then, I'm not going to say things been perfect for me, but I have given myself a chance, something that I never done. You know, give myself a chance and don't give up. Just keep fighting, stay strong. You know, because I know I have these children that's looking up to me that I know they need me there. So it's not about me. It's about the next generation that's after me. You know, and
It's about you and them.
the best example that I'm setting for my kids right now is going to work every day. Getting up 5:30 in the morning, going to work. Them saying, "Oh, my dad's coming home." This, you know, it feels good. And like to come home to see my kids or get pictures from them looking out the window says I'm going to pull up. It feels good. You know, and I just want to thank the youth program, you know, for getting me on the right path, keeping me focused, keeping me strong. And I like to, you know, I had to work today. I took the time out today just to come share my story with y'all, you know, just to give my story about this program. You know, you got to really want it. You got to want it in order for you to help it. I mean, for order for you to for the program to help you, you got to want it. And that's what I done. I want this. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. I don't want that lifestyle no more out on the streets. I done done it most of all my life, and the outcome is gonna be is death or jail. You know, and sometimes it takes that for people to understand or to see it. But I'm just grateful, and I thank God every day for allowing me to see it while I'm at the age of 36 and not waiting until I'm 45, 50 to learn my lesson.
That was amazing, right?
Excellent.
That was amazing. All right. Thank you all for standing with me today. At this point, we'll take any questions. Thank you all for coming.